news. The Gauteng Education Department has refuted claims that it's failed to place learners that were victims of the Usindidiso building fire. Parents and activists allege some children have been roaming idly at the temporary shelters. Some organizations are now threatening legal action against the department. Our reporter Ziniko Mhlaba has more.
We've been doing a story concerning the children who are staying at various shelters in Johannesburg, and one of those is the Denver hostel, where we've got some children and parents who are saying that their kids have not been going to school since the 31st of August 2023. We've spoken to the parents now. We're bringing in the Department of Education, and I'm joined now by Steve Mabona, who speaks for the Gauteng Department of Education. Mr. Mabona, thank you very much, sir, for your time. From what you understand as the Department of Education, what is the situation in terms of the placement of the children who are from the Usindidiso building, who have now been placed at Denver in that informal and temporary shelters? What is your understanding of their problem in terms of being placed at school?
No, thanks very much. According to information at our disposal, all those learners are placed. The challenge that we experienced when we were placing it was to a certain extent, choices where parents would not be comfortable with other schools that we provided. But we ended up, placing them. And you must also understand that to a certain extent, some will be your subject choices, which you cannot just place. You need to take that in cognizance. But there are those that you could not interact with, parents that we do not even have a number or contact detail. Difficult for us to get hold of, but some have then relocated to KZN, because I know there's two in the list who relocated to KZN, and but to all those that are still in Gauteng, we then managed to place them.
I mean, there have been issues in terms of documents of those learners, whether it's birth certificates which have been lost or report cards. What is the process from the department which a parent must go through to get their children to school with those challenges of having lost documents? What are the programs?
Well, for the process of report cards, you can then trace back on the previous school. You then need to check, even if they don't have the confirmation, but the school will be in a position to assist you one way or the other with the sense on how these learners were accommodated. If there's nothing at the school, then we've got subject advisors who can then assess a child that will be saying this child was in grade 5. They will have assessments that will assist to say, yes, let's verify as the educators that this child, indeed was in grade 5. So that process is quite easy, because you have a situation whereby you don't have documents, and those are the things that we need to do.
I mean, in this case, from what we're understanding from the people who are working with those families, they're saying that about over 20 children are still roaming the streets of that informal settlement. Is that what you understand to be the case from the facts that you have as Department of Education? And if it is indeed, what can be done then going forward to help those?
Now, according to what we have, we had about 29 of those learners. And like as I've indicated, all of them have been placed, besides those that have relocated, because know that there are those that are relocated to KZN. So I'm not sure on those that you spoke with, what informs that information. But the department is open to always assist. In the event is one maybe that they were trying to trace and they quite aware of the department, then they need to come to our department. I mean, most of them, they were allocated space by the Johannesburg East District. So that district is located at Sundown High. They can visit there, or they can, interact with us, our contact center, and we'll make sure that they are accommodated. But what we know is that all, learners, they've been accommodated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mabona.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's Mr. Steve Mabona, who speaks for the Department of Education, saying that according to the information they have at their disposal, almost every child has been placed, especially those who are coming from that Usindidiso building, where we saw 75 people losing their lives, and of course 200 were displaced, and as an effect of that, some children now were out of school. But as the department is saying, from their records, every child has been placed besides one or two with different cases. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziniko Mhlaba in Johannesburg.